Mr. Gatlin and Miss Davis, I need you both to raise your right hands, please. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can both put your hands down. Mr. McNulty, does the state have any other witnesses besides the parties?
No other witnesses.
All right. Your case has been called. You may call your first witness.
At this time, the state will call Miss Davis. Miss Davis, do you have any safety concerns about your address or contact information being disclosed in any order entered today?
No, sir.
And what is the name and date of birth of your child who's before the court today?
Eli.
And who is the father of your child?
Elijah Gatlin.
And did both you and Mr. Gatlin sign an acknowledgement of paternity, acknowledging that he is the father of your child?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to enter into evidence as Exhibit A, the acknowledgement of paternity.
Ms. Davis, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement of paternity for Eli. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Gatlin, the same question. Is it okay if I look at Eli's acknowledgement of paternity?
Yes, sir.
Text Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Ms. Davis, who does your child live with?
He lives with me and my mom.
And who makes the important day-to-day decisions for your child?
I do.
And do you have any concerns about Mr. Gatlin being able to act as a co-parent of your child and to help make decisions regarding your child as a co-parent?
No, sir. I just, if he goes with him, I would just like to know where he's at and if he's okay.
Does Mr. Gatlin currently have a relationship with your child? Has he visited with them before?
Yes, sir, but not really.
Not really. Has your child been with him for overnight visits that were unsupervised?
One time.
Do you have any concerns about in the future your child being able to visit with Mr. Gatlin overnights with unsupervised visits?
I just want it to be able to make sure he's okay.
And what kind of health insurance do you currently have available for your child?
He is on Medicaid.
And did you and Mr. Gatlin ever reside together or live together as a couple?
No, sir.
And since your child was born, has Mr. Gatlin ever provided any financial assistance or help provide support for your child?
He has gave me $25 2 different times within the last 9 months.
And have you asked him for support in the past?
Sometimes.
And are you asking the court today to consider ordering Mr. Gatlin to pay any back child support?
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions. I pass the witness.
Call your next witness.
At this time, the state will call Mr. Gatlin.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gatlin, are you currently, do you have any other minor children that are below the age of 18?
No, sir.
And are you currently employed?
Not right now.
Do you have any reason why you would not be able to work a full-time job?
I'm on ISS.
So you receive so you have do you have a disability?
Yes, sir.
And for that disability, you said you receive ISS?
SSI.
SSI. And what is your disability?
Bipolar disorder. asthma,
And-
have blood pressure.
And is that assistance that you receive your only only income?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you have you had this disability for?
Since I was little.
I have no further questions. I pass the witness.
I'll call you next witness.
I have no other witnesses to call, Your Honor.
Mr. Gatlin, how long have you been on SSI?
Since I was little.
Okay,
So I'm 23, so
okay.
23.
For several years now.
Yes, sir.
And you've only had Eli in your possession overnight one time?
I done kept him a couple of times. I done seen him at my mom's and kept him a couple of times, but not overnight.
Okay. Do you live with your mother, Mr. Gatlin?
I stayed in a trailer house next door to my mom.
Okay. Miss Davis, I'm assuming that the contact between Mr. One second, y'all. I'm assuming the contact between Mr. Gatlin and Eli has been inconsistent, hit or miss. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Not. Generally speaking, Miss Davis, for a child this young, I would do what we would call a phased-in visitation schedule. And the first phase of those visitations would be supervised. It doesn't sound like I need to have supervised visit with Mr. Gatlin. It sounds like he's had at least enough contact with Eli to move past that. Do you agree?
I would say kinda,
But you've let the child stay with him overnight at least once. Why should he have to go back and start doing supervised now?
because he will not, like, if when he had Eli, I would ask him where he was at and if he was okay, and he really wouldn't have no contact with me until he would call me and tell me that he wasn't able to keep Eli no more, that I needed to come get him.
Okay. Well, I don't think we need to do supervised visits. But we probably need to start from the phased-in visitation schedule from that point forward. All right, Miss Davis, I'll do a phased-in visitation schedule for Eli in this case that would give Mr. Gatlin, some short periods of visits and then some longer periods of visits and then a couple of overnight visits, but not the whole weekend, just a couple of overnight visits. And when he gets done with all of those phased-in visits that I just kind of described, then he'll have standard where he'll get Eli for weekends and holidays. Do you have any questions in regards to those visitations?
No, sir.
All right. Ms. Davis, do you have any other questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Mr. Gatlin, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gatlin, do you have any questions or comments about this case before I make a ruling?
Well, Mr. Webster, I've been trying to see my son for about 3 or 4 months now. I still ain't been able to see my son. Every time I get a chance to see my son, I say I want to see my son. It's okay. Yeah, you can come and see him. And then when I get ready to come see him, it's changing her mind.
Well, I'm going to give you a court order, Mr. Gatlin, that gives you a specific right to spend time with Eli, okay? And if for
Yes, sir.
some reason Miss Davis decides that she's not going to honor my court order, then you'll have the right, Mr. Gatlin, to go out and hire an attorney and prosecute Miss Davis for not allowing your visitation, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Gatlin?
No, sir.
Mr. McNulty, what is the state asking for in regards to child support and medical support in this case?
Based on Mr. Gatlin's testimony, we are not asking for any child support be set because he does not have an income which child support can be drawn from.
Does you have the same opinion in regards to the medical support?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the state also have the same opinion in regards to any retroactive child support?
Based on Mr. Gatlin's testimony that he has been on SSI for his most of his life. The state is not asking for retroactive support.
Ms. Davis, what Mr. McNulty is trying to tell us is that Mr. Gatlin is currently receiving his only source of income is through a federal welfare program called Social Security Supplemental Income. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And since that's basically a federal welfare program, if that's the only source of Mr. Gatlin's income, I am not allowed to use that as the basis for child support. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, if something changes in the future and Mr. Gatlin goes out and starts working and making money, then you can give that information to the AG's office and they may attempt to go back and get Mr. Gatlin to pay real child support. All right.
Yes, sir.
Court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimonies of Ms. Davis, Mr. Gatlin, that it is certainly in Eli's best interest to name the parties as. Oh, Ms. Davis, what county do you live in? Thank you. The court's going to find that the court has jurisdiction in this case. It's going to find that the parties will be named as joint managing conservators of Eli, with Ms. Davis as the primary custodian. Mr. Gatlin is going to have visitation rights at any and all times mutually agreed to by the parties. But because of the age of the child, I'm going to order a phased-in visitation schedule. In this phased-in visitation schedule there will be 0 supervised visits, followed by 6 unsupervised visits for the half a day, followed by 6 unsupervised visits for the full day, followed by 6 one-night overnight visits. When that last set of visitations is completed, then Mr. Gatlin can have standard possession, which is the weekends and holidays. I'm going to order Ms. Davis to maintain the health insurance that she has on the child. I'm going to make a finding that Mr. Gatlin is currently receiving benefits through the Social Security Supplemental Income, and therefore he has no income. So child support will be set at 0 in this case. Medical support will be set at 0 in this case. There will be no retroactive child support granted in this case, as Mr. Gatlin testified that he's been on SSI for some time. There will be a disability finding in my court order. Mr. Gatlin will be responsible for the court costs, but I will give him until September the 30th of 2023 to pay my court cost. Mr. McNulty, does the AG's office have any questions as to the form of the court order that I've just announced?
Yes, Your Honor. For the visitations, will there be a meeting place where the exchanges will take place?
No, her home.
Okay.
Was there
no further questions?
Okay. I mean, was there a reason why the exchanges wouldn't take place at our house?
Just because our pleadings had asked for non-disclosure, but she testified that she doesn't have any concerns. So I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, you've got no evidence of non-disclosure, so therefore the exchanges will be standard with pick up and return at the mother's house. All right, Mr. David or Miss Davis and Mr. Gatlin, what's going to happen now is that Mr. McNulty's office is going to send me a proposed order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and they're going to send it to each of you. Okay. Miss Davis, you have any questions about my ruling today?
No, sir.
Mr. Gatlin, do you have any questions about my ruling today?
My question is, what about the name?
I didn't hear any testimony in regards to the name, Mr. Gatlin, so that'll have to, and I've already made my ruling, so it's just going to stay what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good luck to you, Mr.
Matthews.
Gatlin.
Please raise your right hand.
Both free to go.
Mr. Matthews, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Ms. Alexander, you handling this case for state?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
This appears to be a motion to modify you filed back in January of 2023.
Yes.
State ready to go on this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, y'all stand by. Let's look at some service and see where we need to be. Of course, going to find that Ms. Toussaint was signed a waiver and a request for court hearing on this case on all looks like February the 12th. It was been on file since February the 14th. So has she filed? I mean, this is an answer. Has the state given her proper notice of this since she filed an answer?
Well, Judge, we've got to give her 40. I've just triggered on me. Thank you very much. We've got to give her 45 days notice, and we've not given 45 days notice. That was not sent out until March 20th.
Well,
So
let's let's look at that first. Hold on. Miss Alexander, can you look at, because I can't tell from the court file, can you look at your own information, Miss Alexander? Is this the first setting of this lawsuit since you filed it?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Mr. Matthews, sometimes people get served with lawsuits and sometimes they file what's called a formal answer. In this case, Ms. Toussaint did actually file a formal answer. When they do that, they're entitled to some extra additional types of notice before I'm allowed to go forward with a default with the Attorney General's office, okay?
Okay.
And what they have to do is they have to send her notice, and it has to be at least 45 days prior to the date that we're going to have the hearing, all right? Mr. Corey Aguilar, I need you to raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
It's in the air.
Mr. Aguilar, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
I thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Ms. Overstreet, for the record, is the court's understanding is that you have reached an agreement with Mr. Aguilar in regards to this petition you filed under the Uniform Interstate Family Support Act.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your case has been called and your witness has been sworn. You have other witnesses besides Mr. Aguilar?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You call your first witness.
You previously had signed an acknowledgement of paternity for Cody, is it Jackson and Melody?
Yes, ma'am.
Saying that you were the father of all of those children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I just realized I forgot to send those to you separately. They are attached to the petition. I don't know if you want to enter them into evidence or just have them file us separately. No.
You got an
Okay.
agreement. Just put it on.
Okay.
record.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Aguilar, you agree that based on your current wages and your current net child support, net wages, your child support should, for the 3 children, should be $500 a month, and your medical support should be $90 a month starting April the 1st, 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And as each one of those children emancipate, then it will be $416 a month and then $333 a month. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
For the child support. Okay. And are you asking the court to adopt that agreement today?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also had agreed to the court costs to be paid by September 30th, 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Aguilar, do you have any questions about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
You live in Jefferson County?
Not really live. I'm staying here right now.
How long have you been here?
I've been off and on. I just got back from Arkansas like maybe a month ago. But
How long you gonna be here?
I have no idea, Your Honor.
You here for work?
Yes, sir.
If you had to guess, Mr. Aguilar, where would you say you actually live? Where's your home county?
Probably Mountain Home, Arkansas.
What? Yeah. Unfortunately, we caught you here.
Right?
Any questions?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
No, sir.
court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to confirm the agreement of the parties today and find that Mr. Aguilar is going to pay child support for these 3 children. His child support is going to be $500 a month, plus an additional $90 a month in cash medical, all payments beginning April 1st of 2023. Mr. Aguilar has agreed to pay the court costs, but I'll give him until September the 30th of 2023 to pay the court costs. Mr. Aguilar, what's going to happen now is Ms. Overstreet's office is going to send me an order. If it matches what y'all said y'all's agreement was on the record today, I'm going to sign it, get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and they're going to send it to you and then to Ms. Camp's home state. Okay. Ms. Thompson, for the record, this lawsuit that's been filed has your name as Kavori Conley. Is your proper name Thompson or Conley?
It's Thompson.
Okay.
It's Thompson.
But you are Christlin's mom?
Yes,
Good enough.
didn't put that. I didn't put that in the system as Conley. That's not my last name, but that's my dad's last name. That's not my last name though.
That's okay, ma'am. I just want to make sure I got the right person in
know.
front of me, all right?
Yeah.
Any other witnesses, Miss Overstreet?
I will need Miss Nash.
Dolores Nash, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. So this looks like a default of Mr. Chambers. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, let's see if we got some service on it.
I thought that I had looked at it. Let me pull it up
Not,
real
not in
quick,
the court
Judge.
file. I got a failed attempt on, looks like May of 22. I got a failed attempt in April of 22. I don't have anything after April of 22.
You know what, Judge? I think it might be, let me go look in the new portal because he was served March the 2nd, and it may, I may not have realized that they put it, instead of putting it in workflow, it might be in the new portal. So let me pull that real quick. Because I'm almost positive I had looked at it and didn't even snap that I needed to send it to you.
Well, you
Or do you have,
shouldn't have to send it to me. I should be able to see it.
are you looking in the new portal or in workflow?
No, I'm looking in my program.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Okay, you found it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna struggle with this switch over from on Odyssey. I don't need any comments from the peanut gallery over there. All right, let's see. I'm gonna find that on March the 2nd of 2023, Mr. Chambers was personally served with citation in Jasper County, Texas. That citation was returned and on file with the district clerk's office on March the 6th of 2023. Has he filed an answer?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let me see if I can get back to doing what
Not that I found in the portal.
Go back and see what I was doing. All right. So he's served. He hasn't filed an answer. I didn't see an answer either, but I wanted to ask because you look at it more often than I do. Let's see if I can find something that shows me he got sent notice of this hearing. Of course, going to find that the state of Texas did send Mr. Chambers notice of this hearing. He's not here. The state may go forward with this default. So you can call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to call Ms. Thompson Conley. Would you state your name?
Kavori Thompson.
And you are the mother of is it Chris? And when she was born, did Mr. Chambers come to the hospital and fill out some paperwork saying he was the dad?
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to ask the court to enter into evidence the acknowledgement of paternity in this case.
Ms. Thompson, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged acknowledgement of paternity for the child Chrislyn. Is it okay if I look at this acknowledgement?
That's fine.
States Exhibit A is admitted in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, ma'am, do you have any safety issues or concerns with your address being in the court order?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what county do you live in?
Jefferson.
And Chrislyn lives with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know what county Mr. Chambers lives in?
Jasper.
And is Mr. Chambers a good father?
Well, no, he don't do what he said since me and him broken up. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't see her, and he doesn't do anything for her.
Okay. So when was the last time he did see her?
It's been about 3 months or so.
Okay. So before the last 3 months, did he see her on a regular basis?
Yes, ma'am. We were living together, so
Okay. So she knows him and he knows her. With if he came to see her, would there be a problem with her going with him and seeing him overnight and things like that?
No.
Okay. Now how is she currently covered for insurance?
She has Medicare chip.
Okay. And do you know whether or not Mr. Chambers has any other children under the age of 18 besides her?
He does. He has 2 other kids.
Okay. Do they live with him?
No.
Do they, do you know if he has a court order for child support for them?
He does.
Okay. And now do you have any personal knowledge about where he works or what he does for a living?
Yes. He's a truck driver. He works for I think he worked for Campbell Oil.
Okay. Do you have any personal knowledge? Has he ever told you how much he makes?
Oh, well, I really don't know how much he make it at that job. I don't know.
Okay. Now are you asking for just child support going forward? Are you asking for any back child support since y'all broke up?
Yes. Just child support going forward. It'll be fine.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to pass this witness and call Miss Nash.
Call you next. Go ahead.
Dolores,
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Nash, can you state your name for the record?
Dolores Nash,
And who do you work for?
Office of the Attorney General,
And how long have you worked for them?
5 years.
And what is your job title?
Child support officer.
And as part of your job duties, do you have review our customers' wages?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And were you able to find out or determine any wages for Mr. Chambers?
Yes, I have. I was able to pull up 4 quarters for 2022.
Okay,
And that came out to 43,182.70.
okay, and then
The monthly was 3,598.
okay. And I have nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
Call you next witness.
I have no further witnesses.
Ms. Nash, how long has he been working at the oil company?
He's worked, well, the wages, the quarters that I got are from different employers.
Okay.
But for this particular employer, let me see. I think it's a couple of, actually for this employer is 1 quarter.
Okay. Because I know Campbell. I mean, I know the oil company that Ms. Thompson was referring to. That's the reason why I said. Ms. Thompson, you said that is Kristen on Medicaid or is Kristen on CHIP?
I think it's called Medicaid chip.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
You're fine. You're fine. Just making sure.
Will she be able to keep her insurance?
I don't know. You'll have to take that up with the people that you have the insurance through.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't. That's a completely different branch of the government, Ms. Thompson. I have no idea what they're, what they require or don't. Why would you think that you would? Why would you think that you would lose it?
I don't know. Because I thought maybe she would have to be on whatever insurance he is on.
I don't have any proof that he's got health insurance.
Oh, okay.
Unless somebody gives me proof that he has health insurance somewhere, I can't order him to carry it.
Okay.
Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Hey, Ms. Thompson, is there any questions or comments that you have about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. Court's going to find, based on the testimony of Ms. Thompson and Ms. Nash, I believe these orders are in the best interest of Crystalline. I'm going to find that the parties will be named as joint managing conservators of the child, with Ms. Thompson as the primary custodian. There will be no domicile restriction. Mr. Chambers is not a resident of Jefferson County, nor a county that touches Jefferson County. Any request for non-disclosure is denied. Mr. Chambers will have visitation at any and all times mutually agreed to by the parties. If no mutual agreement, then at least standard possession order, which is weekends and holidays.
Okay.
There'll be no retroactive child support in this case. I'll find that Mr. Chambers does have 2 other dependents. I order Ms. Thompson to maintain the health insurance that she has on the child. Mr. Chambers is going to be ordered to pay child support in the amount of $475 per month, plus an additional $75 per month in cash medical. Those payments beginning April the 1st of 2023. Court cost by Mr. Chambers, but I'll give him until September the 30th of 2023 to pay my court cost. Ms. Overstreet, did the state of Texas hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor. I
Any
do
questions?
have one. In the order, do I need to put her last name as Thompson?
She put it on the record.
Okay.
What's your last name, Miss? Is it Thompson?
Thompson, yes.
Okay.
Why does the state think your last name is Conley?
I don't know. I don't know. When I done the application, I put in Thompson, but when they sent it in the mail, it had Conley on it, and I'm like, that's my father's last name. That's not my last name though.
Well, was your last name ever Conley?
No.
That's interesting. Okay. Since her last name has never been Conley, I would think that the state probably, for the purposes of this order, needs to make it Thompson.
Yes.
Let me make a note
And
of that, Ms. Thompson.
oddly enough, every case we have for you, it's under Conley. So
Yeah, my birth certificate is right here. It says
That's okay. You don't.
it's okay. I'm gonna put Thompson.
We're live on the internet, Ms. Thompson.
okay.
Please
Yeah.
raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
Yes, it's in there.
Austin Corbin, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Ms. Overstreet, you handling this case for state?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Your case has been called. You call your first witness.
Your Honor, the parties have reached an agreement about the issue of how much the child support is. I'm going to go ahead and confirm each of them with each of them that portion, and then I'll call them each for the remainder of the case. The parties have agreed that child support will be $325 a month. Ms. Corbin will carry the children on medical and dental, and that the reimbursement for the medical will be $132 a month and $45 for the dental a month. And I'd like to call, excuse me, Ms. Jones.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Hold on a second, Ms. Overstreet. Ms. Jones, are you multitasking?
Yes, sir. I'm having to. I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared for the additional meeting.
Okay. Well, if you can, I really need you to focus on this hearing in regards to the child support figures that we're going to be presenting to you, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Ma'am, you heard the
I just
terms of-
stopped. I was able to get out of the meeting. I do apologize. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
okay, Ms. Jones. I know sometimes Zoom is a wonderful tool.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said Zoom is a wonderful tool.
Yes, sir. I had to get out of a meeting,
Okay.
but I'm available now.
Go ahead, Ms. Overstreet. We got Ms. Jones focused on our issues today.
I do
Okay.
now. I do apologize.
That's okay.
And Ms. Jones, just, I'm not sure if you heard or not, but did you agree, you and Mr. Corbin agreed that the child support would be $325 a month? And then you're going to carry the children on the medical and dental, and he's going to reimburse you $132 a month for the medical and $45 for the dental?
That's what I have written here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'd like to pass this witness just briefly so I can confirm that portion of the agreement with Mr. Corbin as well.
Okay.
Mr. Corbin, would you state your name?
Austin Corbin?
And the figures that I just read for the child support, medical, and dental, were those also your agreements?
No, ma'am. Could you say that one more time about the about what you just said about the numbers?
Okay. It was my understanding that y'all's agreement for child support was $325 a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm just talking to Mr. Corbin.
Stop. Mr. Corbin, did you reach an agreement with the state of Texas in regards to your child support and your medical support?
No, sir.
Okay.
May I speak, Your Honor?
No, ma'am. This is a contested hearing, Ms. Overstreet. Please recall your witnesses and consider this to be a contested hearing.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. I apologize. It was my understanding there was an agreement.
Apparently not.
Okay, so Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to ask the court to take judicial notice of the court's file, including the controlling order.
The court will take judicial notice of its own file.
I'd like to recall Ms. Jones. Can you state your name?
Yes, my name is Brittany Jones.
And you are the mother of, is it Kennedy Corbin? And Mr. Corbin was previously ordered to pay you child support and for her. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
And has he ever paid you any money directly for child support or medical support that did not come through the state disbursement unit?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And he was also ordered to pay you medical support, correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Your Honor, at this time, if there's no objection, I'd like to enter into evidence the pay records in this case.
All right, 1 second. Ms. Jones, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the alleged pay record in your case with Mr. Corbin. This allegedly shows the payments that Mr. Corbin has made to you and the payments that he's missed. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Corbin, the same question. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir.
All right, State Exhibit A is admitted in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, one of the things that we are asking for today is a judgment for the past due child support as of February the 28th, 2023 in the amount of $15,127.86. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, and we'll also be asking the court to order Mr. Corbin to pay something towards those arrears as well. We're also asking for a judgment for medical support as of February 28th, 2023 in the amount of $2,512.80. Excuse me, and a payout on that. Do you understand that? And we're also going to be asking to modify his child support. Is he the best person to address what he is making? And
I don't have any information on his job, so I'm just going by what you all have along with what he's providing you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any knowledge, personal knowledge of whether or not he has any other children under the age of 18 besides the child that y'all have together?
Yes, ma'am. So he has the child with me. He has 2 other child support cases. I know that one is in Beaumont, one is in Dallas, and I am aware that he does have another child, a boy.
Okay. Does the third child live with him, or do you know?
Just to be honest with you, I think him and the girlfriend are together, and the child resides in a home. That's the most information that I have because to my knowledge, they're not married. So that information, I can't quite give you a true and accurate answer. I don't know.
Okay.
Where he resides.
He's the best one to ask, correct?
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
All right. Your Honor, I have nothing further of this witness. I'd like to pass the witness and call Mr. Corbin again.
Go ahead.
Yes, I will. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Corbin,
Yeah.
So you understand today that we're asking for a judgment for the past due child support and medical support, correct?
Yes.
And now, it's my understanding we had reset this case so that you could get a job because you lost your job after the CSRP was done, and you have obtained employment now. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, where are you going to be working?
Viola Environmental in Beaumont, Texas.
Okay. And how much are you making an hour?
16.
And as far as you know, you'll be working 40 hours a week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you typically work construction, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you think this is going to be a long-term job?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's a permanent position.
Okay. So you probably won't be working like 3 or 4 months and then switch into another plant and working 3 or 4 months. This will just be 12 months a year.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And now you don't have any insurance available for the children through your job, do you?
No, ma'am, because my kids are on Medicaid, so I pay for Medicaid on my child support, so that's what they've been on.
Okay, but you're aware that Miss Jones has the children covered under her insurance, correct?
I just found that out a couple of weeks ago because she's been on Medicaid since she's been born. So that's my first time hearing about the medical thing.
Okay, and y'all had discussed, and it was my understanding you had agreed to pay the $132 a month.
Ms. Overstreet, I need you to ask Ms. Jones. The parties have already stated that they no longer agree to whatever it was that y'all did before the hearing. You're going to need to put some testimony on from Ms. Jones as to where the health insurance on this child is.
Okay. I'll recall her after I finish with him. So Mr. Corbin, do you have any information as to whether you will have any insurance available at Viola for the children?
No, I haven't looked into any yet, but by me being hot at the tent doesn't why they gave me that long, because I just did my physicals and my drug testing and all that yesterday. So
okay.
I'm still, we still in that, still in that process. But I'm for sure hired though.
Okay. Now, do you have some other children besides the children you have with Miss Jones, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 daughters and I have 1 son.
Okay.
And I pay child support on my other 2 daughters.
Okay. Now, does your son currently live with you?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I have nothing further of Mr. Corbin. I would like to recall Miss Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, do you currently have the children on your medical insurance?
Yes, ma'am. Just to answer your question, with you speaking with Mr. Corbin, the order that you have previously, this has been since, I believe, the case first opened since 2008.
Ms. Jones,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to answer the question.
Oh, well, yes, I do
the
have.
attorney for the AG's office.
They are on my insurance.
And how much is the cost of that insurance per month for the child?
So I did provide that information. I do not have it in front of me at this moment. I can get it, but I would have to go back into the office. I stepped out because, like I stated, I wasn't aware that we were having to speak with the judge on today.
Okay. In the CSRP, you had stated it was $132 a month. Do you believe
right?
That's
she had
correct?
Divided. Yes, she had divided it based on myself with my 2 daughters to calculate just for the child that I have with Mr. Corbin. And then I also provided her with the medical at that time, and she came up with those numbers. With the Medicaid, that was prior.
Okay. I'm not asking you about the Medicaid. I'm just asking you about the cost.
Okay.
And you
yes,
also
ma'am.
have child covered for dental. Is that correct?
Correct. She's on my dental insurance as well.
And in the order, the CSRP order, it said for her portion, it was $45 a month. Does that sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're asking the court to have you maintain the insurance on the children and order at least some of the portion, if not all,
Correct.
of what you pay for this child back to you. Is
Yes,
that correct?
ma'am.
And
Yes,
how long?
ma'am.
How long has the child been on the medical and dental through your job?
She's actually been, this job I've been here for 2 years, and she was on the one previously from that one as well.
Okay. All right. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
I have no further witnesses.
You know, it's hard when you've heard Miss Overstreet start throwing numbers at you. It's hard to get rid of. It's hard to unhear.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to unhear it. I can't order $180 a month in health insurance, Miss Overstreet. That's over 9%. Yeah, I mean, he has 3 other children.
I agree.
Am I supposed to give all of the medical support to the one child of the subject to this suit, or am I supposed to divide it amongst all 4 of his kids?
Divide it. And Your Honor, the only reason I had said those numbers is that it was my understanding that that's what they had agreed to. That's why I had said that at the beginning. And then I was just letting you know what she pays.
Yeah,
but no, I'm not
that's
expecting
okay.
you to do the whole thing if they're not agreeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's an expectation issue. That's the problem that I have. All right.
Mhm.
I'll stand by for me 1 second. Ms. Jones, is there anything
sir.
else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, I mean, I think he's provided you with the information I've provided as well. As I told the previous worker that I spoke with, the modification, this is the first modification since the case has actually opened.
Yes, ma'am, I see that.
Yes, sir. That's it for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Corbin, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Sir, I know anything that I give my daughter besides my payments to the Attorney General is gifts, and I have been giving my daughter money. When I had my last job, I was giving my daughter money for shoes, for her homecoming, and everything else.
Okay.
And I know that's gifts, but I just had to let that know because y'all asked her, did he give you any money besides that? And the answer was supposed to be yes.
Okay.
And that's it, sir.
Okay. And I hear you, Mr. Corbin. I do. But you stated it correctly. I mean, the stuff that you buy for the needs of your child outside of my court order are basically what you're saying is that I'm just doing this in addition to the child support I'm supposed to be paid.
Yes.
Okay. And I understand something, Mr. Corbin.
Yes, sir.
This hearing is not about whether or not you're a good dad. That's not what this question is. I'm assuming that you're a good dad.
Yes, sir.
This is just about money. That's all it is. Just numbers. It's important, but it's still
it is. It is. Yeah, I understand.
The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction in this case. The court's going to find that based on the testimony of the parties, there has certainly been a material and substantial change of circumstance. I'm going to increase the child support according to the information that I've been given. Ms. Jones is going to be ordered to carry the health insurance on the child through her employer. Mr. Corbin is going to be ordered to reimburse her for those costs. But according to the statute, I can't just give Ms. Jones 100% of what it would cost for the premium because Mr. Jones has 3 other dependents. I have to take those children into consideration when I'm setting the medical and the dental insurance cost. Child support is going to be increased to $340 per month. There's going to be an additional $55 a month for health insurance premiums. There's going to be an additional $10 per month for the dental insurance premiums. I'll make a finding that Mr. Corbin is behind in his child support as of February 28, 2023. Mr. Corbin owes $15,127.86 in child support, $2,512.80 in medical support. And those arrears are going to be paid back at a rate of $50 a month for the child support arrears and $15 a month for the medical support arrears. Again, all payments beginning April the 1st of 2023. Court costs by Mr. Corbin, but I'll give him until September 30th of 2023 to pay my court costs. Ms. Overstreet, did the AG's office hear all the terms, conditions of my court order?
Yes.
That's 340, 55 for the health insurance premium, 10 for the dental insurance premium, 50 for the back child support, 15 for the back medical, and then your judgments as per the pay rate.
Okay, thank you. And you said 9:30 for the 2023.
Yeah, 9:30, September 30th.
Okay. Thank you. I got him.
Mr. Corbin and Miss Jones, what's going to happen now is Miss Overstreet's office is going to send me a court order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. And you don't have to be satisfied with my ruling. If either party is dissatisfied, you have 3 business days with which to file written notice of appeal with the district clerk's office in Jefferson County. Your appeal has got to be specific. You've got to tell the district judge what part of my ruling you disagree with, and you're responsible for sending a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. All right. You're both free to go. I thank you for being here today, and I appreciate your patience.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.